everyone, Jennifer here, and welcome to the Daily Connoisseur. I have such a treat for you today. My mother-in-law is opening up her home and sharing her process for interior design with us in today's video. My mother-in-law is known to the world as Jane Winkworth. She founded French Soul in the UK, London Soul in America, and she has since retired from those businesses and now runs her late husband, my father-in-law's, property business. But she's always had a knack for interior design. And I know you've seen her spaces over the years. And so I'm so excited to actually share her process with you in today's video. So she sat down with me for a recorded interview, and we are able to go through many of the rooms in her home and share that with you today. Before we jump into the interview, I'd like to share the Chic Society with you. This is my private membership group here on YouTube, and my mother-in-law is also a member. So we have so much fun. I do one vodcast every Friday, and we go live and do a Zoom call together once a month. We also have a pen pal program. You're seeing some of the upper tiers here, and at the end of this video, I'm going to share the Elegant Connoisseurs with you. If you are interested in joining the Chic Society, you can click the join button down below, or I will leave a link in the description box. So without further ado, let's jump into the home tour. Okay, so this is so much fun for me to be doing this with you because I have been telling people for years about what an incredible interior designer you are. And so thank you for opening your home for us because it's super generous of you to do this.
My pleasure, Jennifer.
So how would you describe your decorating style?
I genuinely don't believe I have a style. If I do have any sort of a style, it's a focus on tradition, heritage, the furniture that my husband and I both inherited from our families. And the main criteria for me is comfort and a welcoming, warm, unchanging atmosphere of history, heritage, old school, simple, really.
Because I get that, because when you walk into one of your homes, you instantly feel, first of all, your eyes are confronted with so much beauty. There's so much to look at in your homes. And I love that. And we're going to talk about layering in a moment. But this doesn't come easily for most people. So do you feel that you were born with a talent for interiors, or is this something that you learned?
I genuinely, honestly don't believe I have a talent for interiors, and that is truthful. What I think I have a talent for is absorbing the life that we lead into our possessions, artwork. I'm very focused on good artwork. I think it's vitally important. I'm also focused on not throwing anything away. I'm almost a hoarder. I think you know from 18 to 20 years of knowing me that I throw nothing away. But I really don't think I have any really serious decorating style. However, I am creative. And I think a creative ability combined with knowing exactly how you want to live and focus your lifestyle, really, I think that's what everything is about with my homes.
So one thing that I love is that there's an element of deep layering in every room. And I noticed that you use throw blankets, pillows, textures, patterns, all sorts of elements to bring together a room. It's not one-dimensional. So what advice do you have for people who would like to recreate a similar look?
Well, I think pattern and colour is important, and I know that these days that's actually almost not the watchword. For me, less is not more, more is more. And I think the main thing is you've just got to be very careful with your colour palette. But I would always advise maybe just looking for a colour of a book, a colour in your main artwork. If you have one painting or set of prints or whatever you have, it could be a child's drawing, it doesn't need to be expensive artwork. But if you look for maybe the dominant colour, a background colour, and keep that focus in your mind and then layer on top of that one colour. But layering for me, I'm going to be honest, is covering up the dog's mess on the sofas. And I have 4 dogs and they all come in from the mud, and my furniture is mostly white or off-white, and therefore endless washing and scrubbing and cleaning doesn't always do the trick. So a few really lovely cashmere blankets, job done.
I think a lot of people will appreciate that advice because you've made it practical but beautiful at the same time. Speaking of color, because sometimes you do inject a really bold color out of nowhere, like for example in the what do we call it? The sitting room, the little sitting room. Yeah. You have that bright green sofa, which I love, and it's kind of like a really bold
bright green.
So what is that?
I call that an
moss?
olive green.
Olive. Okay, yeah, you're right. Olive green. But
now
still,
you mean in the dining room we have an emerald green chair?
Yes.
Out of nowhere.
Right. I love that because I think people are intimidated by color, but I like how you mix a lot of neutrals and then some like beautiful hues, like in the large sitting room you have a lot of blues, but then you do that pop of color in one piece of furniture.
Yes, I think it's important.
Yeah. Is that intentional? Just the one piece?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
If I'm particularly in the dining room with the dark red walls and antique furniture everywhere, really I needed some sort of a lift to take it up a notch from that rather heavy look. And it's quite a dark room, the dining room, which is fine because we only ever use it at night. Lunchtime sometimes on a Sunday. But that green chair, to be completely honest, Jennifer, I put it there for the dogs, to get them out of the way from under the table, from begging for food.
I think your secret to interior design is the dogs.
The dogs. Well,
they're informing a lot of decisions around here.
Yes, I know, but they do dominate my life. And, since my husband died, they are, when you guys aren't here or the rest of the family aren't here or I don't have friends, it's pretty lonely without the dogs, and they are my constant companions and family, and most of the house does really revolve around them.
So let's talk about the walls, because there's so much that I want to talk about, because sometimes you'll choose a bold paint color like in the dining room. Sometimes you'll do neutral and have just beautiful artwork like in the hallways. In the large sitting room, you have murals, which I absolutely love.
Hand-painted, yes.
Hand-painted by your friend.
Yeah.
And so just tell us, how do you decide what to do with the walls?
They were done a long time ago. And I've worked with my great friend Ian, and we're great friends. We worked together for years designing, packaging, carrier bags, boxes, etc. And he's done the 2 rooms, the garden room and the big sitting room. And it was his idea, really, palm trees. Goodness knows where he got that from.
I love it.
But I left him to it and said, just do whatever you think. Yeah. Just do what you want, really.
Your use of books. I love how you have books in every room. I just love your books. You have beautiful coffee table books, books to read. Every room has books. And of course you have Madame Chic books as well, which is really nice to see here. Why do you like to decorate with books?
Because I don't have any bookshelves.
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
That's true, you don't have bookshelves.
I don't, my walls are mainly covered in artwork or windows. I do like coffee table books, and I have to say that I do have a lot of books on architecture, design, and of course you probably noticed my collection of World of Interiors.
Yeah.
Again, I have every single copy since the very first one. But I do think books make a room. They also tell you a lot about the people who live in the house.
That's so true.
And if you look at what people are reading, that would tell you a huge amount about them. So I tend to put the more intelligent stuff on the top and hide the not so good.
Let's talk about the garden room.
I had a lot of houseplants which drove me mad, constantly dying, needed sort of hospitalisation. So I turned the garden room basically into an orchid hospital, just so I didn't have to throw them away, because, if you do take care of them, they'll come back a year or so later. Yeah. So it evolved. It's pure evolution. And we sometimes sit in there, but very rarely.
The grandchildren love it.
The grandchildren love it. And your daughter, my beautiful granddaughter, will sit in there for hours.
She will.
She does love the room. Yeah. Kids do love that room. I can't understand why. It's a bit jungly.
I think that's why. So let's naturally move out to the garden, which is my favorite part, obviously, about your home because it is spectacular.
Thank
so
you.
How did you design this garden? Because you have such a large space.
Huge.
But you've made it seem like it's almost like there's individual rooms in the garden. Like there's the pool area, and then there's the patio, there's the rose garden, there's the meadow. Tell us about the garden.
Well, again, Jennifer, it's evolved, and you've known me a long, long time. It's evolved over many, many years. We've been in this house now 48, 49 years. Mm-hmm. And when we first came here, the garden was extremely sparse. The rose garden, the formal rose beds, well, they're just a passion of mine, roses. All my roses are David Austin. I would never go anywhere else. And for the two formal circular beds, sadly we lost all the lavender this winter in the cold spot, but David Austin advised me, and I actually worked with them copying their garden for 2022 for Chelsea, where they won the gold medal, and I'm so proud of it, but very sad that the lavender has died, but it's replaceable. And then the roses round the pool, that was because the children were tiny when we put the pool in, and I had to enclose it, and I wanted to hide the fence. I mean, you could get married under that rose arch. It's so exquisite.
Beautiful.
The rest of the garden, honestly, it's a mixture and a mismatch. It's small flower beds, and we go down to the river, and we've got the river bank, which I used to upkeep. I don't anymore because I want to encourage wildlife, so we rewilded the river bank. Looks a bit of a mess, but I love it. And the rest of the garden, it's just grown, you know. Also, I'm very proud of my 12 magnolias. I have 12 enormous magnolia trees, as you know.
Now, you have a signature floral bouquet that you love to do for us.
Yes.
So can you tell us the recipe for that?
You've got a lovely rose combined with the sage, the lavender and the rosemary, and you might find something else in your garden. I'm very lucky, I've got some jasmine, and that combination in a bouquet will give you a scent that will beat any other scent you could possibly buy. It's sensational. And the other thing that I would always recommend is honeysuckle. And if you can get a rich honeysuckle with your bouquet, my goodness me, you know, in the bedroom, very, very beautiful.
Smells so nice. The final question is this, because a lot of people are operating on a tight budget.
Of course.
Can you recreate these looks on a budget?
Yes.
And what is your advice for people who are looking to do that?
Yard sales. Yard sales. People who are chucking stuff out. Craigslist, second-hand furniture. Of course. You know, over here we have junk shops. We have auction sales. And we have what's called, actually I don't know what it's called, not distressed sales, but you know when someone sadly died and companies here go and clear out all, you'll get the most beautiful linen. I mean, a lot of my bed linen is just comes from antique shops or vintage, and I think just look for second hand. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Always have a good pot of paint to hand and a paintbrush. Anything can be touched up, recreated, painted over. See if you can just find your own style within yourself, your own colour, your own, and what makes you comfortable. When you sink into a sofa to watch the TV or read a book or talk to your friends, have a cup of tea, are you comfortable? And are you sitting in a patch of sunlight? Are you maybe just looking at something that pleases you, a memory?
This was so much fun for me, and I just want to thank you so much for giving your time to us and sharing your secrets, and I know everyone is going to absolutely love this video, so thank you.
I'm not sure it's everyone's cup of tea, but there you go. We're happy here.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed today's video, and now I'm going to share the Elegant Connoisseurs with you.
Ellen Watt with the 90-day memoir workshop starting September 18th. Jenny Williams from Carrot Top Paper Shop. Elaine Brisebois, certified nutritionist and women's weight loss coach. Ashley Buffa, Freedom Mom's Smart Kids Chore System. Guy Blaze, author of Love Like the French, a guide to better romance and relationships. Dr. Kate Philbin, transpersonal psychologist and professionally certified life and executive coach. Carrie Van Hooser, author of 'Tis the Season for Poetry. Louise Bromhead, psychologist, author of Illness Recovery Well-Being. Macondo Forever, woven placemats. Teresa Maples from Self-Care Routine Cards. Allen's Scottish Shortbread, Sturm Brothers Custom Design and Fine Jewelry, Studio Duquesa Fine Art Branding and Stationery, The Apron Diva by Denise Jordan with pretty and practical aprons. And thank you to the following: Catherine Ray, Anne-Marie Ramsey, Catherine Higginbotham, Darby Zweifel, Jenny Candelaria, Jet Raleigh Heron, Gina K. Henry, Juliette Keeler-LeBien, Karen Lynn Interior Design, Lauren Maida, Linda Eckloff, Maria Condor, Moonshadow Welsh Ponies, and Royal Crow.
Thank you for joining us here today, everyone. Keep calm and remain classy, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.